Oh, I think we're live. There goes the ping. There goes another ping. Fingers crossed everything's alright. Looking good so far. I'll just have a double checky. Make sure everything's alright. You never know with this streaming software whether it's ever actually going to work properly. But we're looking good. Let us see. Oh yeah, that looks like it's working all right. Right, let's preserve my bandwidth. Right, good evening. It's 8 o'clock. Streams health says excellent, so I'm guessing that we're live for another Wednesday night. To be honest, it could well be one of the last Wednesday nights for a while. I'm thinking of winding these live streams up now for a while and maybe bringing them back in the autumn, because it's getting to the stage now where it's so light at 8 o'clock. Shouldn't really have the lights on in here because it's still quite light outside. Still light at 8 o'clock means I can go fishing after work, and I can start my afternoon after work midweek sessions again. So I'm thinking of maybe winding these live streams up. You'll all have to let me know what you think of that. Good evening. I can see 2 on, and I can see no data. Oh, excellent. Now it's come back again. You never quite know what's going on with this. Yeah, so good evening. I can see 2 concurrents there at the moment. So evening chaps, whoever it is. And yeah. Shall I wrap these live streams up? That is the question I'm going to be asking everyone tonight. It's getting pretty close. The light evenings are coming back now. We must be gaining at least a few minutes a day every day. Louis fishing, all right, mate? How's it going? Nice to see you here. Thumbs up. Yeah, have you been out, mate? Been out anywhere? I couldn't wait to get back to fishing in Cheshire. Ian, all right, mate? I couldn't wait to get back to fishing in Cheshire when we opened on, what was it, 29th of March? 2 weeks ago? Over 2 weeks ago, isn't it? And since I've gone back to fishing in Cheshire, I haven't caught a fish. Which just goes to show you how difficult it can be out there. I've had nothing. I did get a bite on Saturday, like one missed run, and that was it. I just felt a bump and the fish was off, and I've had nothing. It's funny that 5 or 6 weeks on the brickworks, I think I racked up about 25 fish. Couldn't go wrong, and it come off the easy runs water onto somewhere which is considered still an easy runs water, and 2 blanks. Yeah, you blanking as well, mate. That makes both of us. I've only done a couple of afternoons, just on Saturday afternoons, on a reasonably local lake just outside Chester, for those of you that know it. And I've blanked twice. Saturday though was horrendous. I've never seen anything like it. It's just, I went fishing on Saturday. It said high pressure, which I thought, okay, they're not great conditions like, but it said clear blue sky all day. And 10 minutes after I got there, it started raining and never stopped. That was it. Just kept lashing down all day. I didn't get it quite as bad as people further east, out towards Macclesfield, and that they all got snow. But I just got rain. And my mate Andy, he was in Llandudno and he just had sunshine last weekend. It was mad. But yeah, it's the forecast one on Saturday was just so wrong. BBC, I don't know how they managed to get it so wrong, to be honest. You know, blue sky, clear, and it just rained all the time. If I'd have known it was going to rain all the time and not stop, I wouldn't have even gone. I'd have just done something else. I'd have gone and done some work on the house instead. But yeah, I got caught out in that big time, like. Scobes, all right, mate. Dave Scobie Angling Adventures. Good evening. Rob, nice to see you, mate. Hailstoned off the river. Wasn't fun. Wouldn't recommend it now. There was a little bit of hailstone in Saturday's weather, Dave, but not a lot. It was mainly just rain. Just rained all the time. And I still got a bite in the rain, like, which is unusual. Don't usually get many of them. Usually find when they stop, the carp start feeding. But I actually got a bite while it was raining, which is unusual for me. I got a bit of a soaking going out knitting it, like having to peer out from under me brolly. But yeah, it's warmed up a bit now anyway, isn't it? It's not as bad as it was last weekend, and it's getting better. It'll be a few degrees higher come the weekend, and then next week it's going to be even warmer, so it's not too bad. Hail and a little snow on Capes on Saturday. Yeah, that sounds about right. I know a few lads who fished Warford, which is round the corner from there, Rob, and they got hailed and snowed on as well. Yeah. Sun, snow, hailstone, rain. It got everything, the British weather, hasn't it? I just got a rain. I was going to ask you, Rob, do you know what time, what date Cape shuts? What date does it shut? All seasons in one day, too right, yeah. It was literally everything. I tell you what though, it was bloody cold. I mean, I was wrapped up in a thermal suit, full winter suit that I'd wear in January and February, and it was horrendous. I was still shivering even in that. Looks like they're doing away with the close season. That's not kind of the answer I was looking for, mate. It usually closes at the end of April, Rob, but I've heard rumours that there's going to be an extension by a couple of weeks. I don't know about doing away with the closed season, but I've heard there's going to be an extension of a couple of weeks. I just wondered if you'd heard anything about it, because some people seem to think there is, and others have said nothing, and open for 2 weeks in May. That's what I heard. But one of the bailiffs has said he hasn't heard anything, and that's one of the bailiffs for the estate until the 17th. Right, okay. Where's that, mate? Is it written down anywhere? Somewhere I can go and have a look. I picked up a new bed chair. Got a Fox R3. I had a choice of that and an Avid memory foam. One of the Nash 4 leg 5 season. That weighs about 12 tons, yeah. I've got an Avid memory foam at the moment, Dave. Obviously I don't use it very much because I don't night fish anymore. Like, it's just folded up in my tackle store at the moment, like where it's sat for the last couple of years. I'll post you a screenshot in a minute. Cheers, Rob. That'd be great, mate, if you could. Jeff is asking to do away with it. Right, okay, that's good. I like that. I don't know why they would not, to be honest. Do away with it, that is. Let's have a look. I won't answer you, Rob. I'll just read it out. Three meters from the bank. Blah 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 blah. Where's the bit about it staying open? Second of April, sawmill. I can't see anything in there about it staying open, Rob. That's just an update on the work that's been done, taking the roadies out, which I already knew anyway. I thought someone sent me a picture of them the day they were taken out. Yeah. Be nice if they did do away with it. Yeah, I've got an Avid memory foam, Dave, as I was saying, and I've had a Nash Indulgence, and that's gone. I bought it brand new, and I used it once and sold it because I thought it was a pile of crap. It didn't keep me warm. First night I used it, it's because it's got like it's a sleep system and the sleeping bag's all built in, supposedly 5 season. Part of the sleeping bag's got like an extra bit on that tucks in all the way around, and it wouldn't tuck in at the bottom, and my feet were freezing. I had to stuff a fleece hoodie down it for the second night to warm my feet up. Once I managed to block it off at the bottom with the cold air getting in, it was fine, but you shouldn't have to do that on a brand new bed chair. It should work a lot better than that, and it wasn't that comfortable either. So I got shot of it. Only used it the one session and sold it. Fortunately, one of my mates is a Nash field tester, so I got a whacking big discount on it, and I got my money back for it by selling it, on a Facebook group, because I got me big discount. I just put like brand new used ones, mint, and someone saw it and snapped it up, like, so. I got away quite lucky there, like. But yeah, the Avid memory foam one's been okay, mate. I've got to say, it's been quite comfy. It's got 50mm memory foam in it, and that's been okay. I've had a Fox one as well. I don't know what an R3 is, to be honest. Back in the day when I had mine, it was called the Super Deluxe, which was around about 1990. 1991 I bought that, and that was alright, but it was one of their first bed chairs. It didn't even have legs to fold it flat, and I had that for a fair few years before I got rid of it, like. So the Fox one's alright, Avid's okay, but the Nash one is gash. So you should do alright with an R3 anyway, whatever it is. Fox have been making bed chairs for years, mate. It's how they started, isn't it? So you should be alright with that one. What's Louis said? All seasons in one day. Yeah, it was. Yeah. Jeff's asking to do away with it. Screenshots. Yeah. I don't know. I hope he gets his way and gets it done away with. That would be great, Rob. But it's not what I've heard so far. Like, I've just heard 2 weeks in May as an extension. Whether it's true or not, I don't know. I'm asking because those 2 weeks I'm likely to spend up there if it is extended. I shall be dropping in. You want to get back to longer sessions, so it means getting a bed chair that don't cripple me. Yeah, well, they all cripple me, Dave. That's why I don't do nights anymore. But the best ones I've found are the ones where you lay flat. So they keep your spine flat, and you put a pillow under you so that everything's sort of like kept in line. So the Avid lay flat ones are okay, and the Fox ones as well, they can be okay. But most of them are awful. Bed chairs, like, they're just no good. Gizmo, 50 quid, no chance, mate, not for sale. It may not be used, but there will come a point when I want to go night fishing, and I shall need it. To be honest, it's too small for me as well. I'm 6'3", and my feet are on the metal, and my head is on the metal as well at each end of the bed chair, because it's only a standard one. I didn't get an extra long one or anything like that. I just got a standard. So it's probably a little bit too small for me. I may end up selling it in the end, and if I do, like, I'll give you the shout. But for the moment, like, I intend to keep it. I need to forward you the hunting foot warmer socks I got from the States. They're like electric blankets, pair of socks. That's all right. I've got whatchamacallits, Dave. I wear thermal socks all the time anyway. But when I'm fishing, especially in winter, I have 2 pair, a normal thick pair, and I've got the whatchamacallit, the ones the bikers use. What are they called? Crikey, the waterproof ones, sealskins. That's it. I've got sealskin socks as well, like, and they're ace. You can actually run out your bivvy in them and into the water and not get wet because they're waterproof. You can go straight out in your socks. Halfway down the second screenshot, there's another one. I can only see one. Ah, okay, yeah. Thanks, Rob. Opening 1st of July, though. We agreed with PIS because it remain open until the 16th of May. That's what I was looking for. Thanks, Rob. That's the rumour that was going around, like the 16th of May. That's brilliant. Yeah, I shall be on there in the next, not this Saturday probably, but the Saturday after. I'm going for a one-off this Saturday, down to J12. Evening, Andy. You're all right, mate? Are you well, Andrew? Are you going to blow the cobwebs off before you go to Norton Disney, mate? The R3 is bed chair for fat people like me. Yeah, that's probably do me then, Dave, because I'm not exactly thin. I think I'm about 16 stone or something like that. It's a lay flat with memory foam mattress and added lumbar support. 5-season bag. That sounds good, mate. That's what you want. But I don't think you'll need a 5-season bag in the summer, though, mate. It's maybe in winter. But it's starting to get warmer now. Like, it's time to put the 5-season away, I think, or it will be in a few weeks. But yeah, that sounds good. That, mate. Lay flat, memory foam, added lumbar support. That's what you want, isn't it? Out of a bed chair. Halfway down second screenshot, committee 16th, hoping to open throughout unless spawning or work party. Because of the pandemic, we have still not reached a decision with the owners as to whether or not we will allow fishing to continue for the closed season. That would be ace if they did, mate. I would be really happy with that if they did. that would be, yeah, spot on. But even just to May the 16th is great. I'm happy with that. Like that'll do me. Gonna give me a couple of little bites at the cherry through May, and maybe the last week or two of April as well. Because it was the 14th today. Probably last week of April and the first couple of weeks of May. I'm off May Day bank holiday. May Day's bank holiday, isn't it? So I'm off the 4 days after they've got a full week. So no prizes for guessing where I'm going to be heading. No fun, too short. Are you tall as well, Gizmo? I don't know why I got a standard one, to be honest. I just wanted to cut the weight. Didn't want to carry anything heavy or anything like that. Just thought, a standard one will do. But I mean, it's all right. Don't get me wrong. The edges of the bed chair are covered by the 50mm memory foam, so it's not so bad. Like, but it does. It's not as comfortable as I would like. I could probably do with the bigger one, but as I don't do nights, I make do. I only do 2 a year usually, and I normally would have gone to Norton Disney with the lads in 2 weeks' time, but I've got to stay home, like, for family reasons, so I can't go this year. But I would have done 2 nights on Norton Disney with the lads. But yeah, I'll keep it, because they're the only 2 nights a year I do, really. Andy, I'm on Reeds Friday. Right, okay, that's interesting, Andy. You're going to have a crack at it, mate. That's new. I was not expecting you to say that, mate. Yeah, I'm quite looking forward to having a go on there myself. It's maybe. It's worth a blow the cobwebs off session, Andy, on there. You never know what you're going to get, mate. And you've got some good info on the place there from the lads who fished it long term, so you know roughly where you need to be as well to be in with the shout. So yeah, you never know. Roll the dice, mate, and see how it pans out. That's what I'm going to do. But I'm happy to wait at the moment. And on Saturday, I was talking to Kev last night while he was at Central Park, and we were discussing when to go. Should I go? And if so, when should I get there for first light? And if not, what about 8 to 10 in the 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning, when people are starting to pack up after an overnighter? There may be 1 or 2 spaces left. That makes sense. Just a case of timing it so that there'll be a space in the car park. But yeah, I'm planning on heading south on Saturday for me day of freedom. I'm not sure how things will pan out, like probably blank, but it's got to be worth a go, hasn't it? Like you say, roll the dice and see what happens. Sorry, I'm just Liverpool 0-0, 21 minutes. Right, okay. I forgot Liverpool were playing tonight. You're going to 12 on Friday and chose Reeds. Right, okay, yeah, I'm the other way. I was going to Reeds but decided to swap and go to 12. Purely because it's the one chance I've got to be out all day. I can go first thing in the morning, I can come back last thing at night, and I haven't got to worry about anybody in the house. So it's a one-time offer, if you like, one-time chance. So I chose to go to 12 because I can make a long day of it. Otherwise I would have done the afternoon on Reeds. Right, okay, cheers, Rob. I get updates on my phone anyway, mate, but yeah, if you let us know if someone scores, or if we're on top, or look like we're going to pull it back. I'm not expecting much, to be honest, because there's no crowd. And it's the crowd that makes the European nights. They're just going to be playing in an empty stadium, aren't they? So I'm not expecting much. Not sure they can pull that round. It's the 12th man that does it. Waiting for the green light to get out. Work is holding me down. All right, okay, Gizmo. Yeah, that's just going to say, what's keeping you? It's the 14th of April now. Like, we come out of lockdown on the 29th of March, so it's been a couple of weeks, mate. But if work's mental, then I suppose you've got to go with it, haven't you? I would never criticise someone for taking paid work, over going fishing. It's something that I did years ago. I used to go fishing all the time. Like, I lost a couple of promotions at work over fishing when I was younger, much younger. All I wanted to do was go fishing. Will you do overtime? No. Will you do this? No. Will you do that? No. Going fishing. That's all they ever got out of me. And one of the managers said to me, you'd be a lot higher up in this company now if you'd actually just, took the responsibility on instead of going fishing. And I just shrugged my shoulders. I'd rather go fishing, mate. So yeah, I got turned over for a few promotions, and I think after a few years of blowing myself out, I decided I was never going to do that again, and I would always put work over fishing, and I have done ever since. So I wouldn't blame you, mate, for taking the work. Take the money while it's there. Don't bother with the fishing. It'll still be there when the work dries up. So don't worry about it. And I still put work over fishing even now. Even though I don't like it, but I do it because you want the ginch, don't you? So it's about getting there and letting you know how busy it was, but the thought of getting there and it being rammed, yeah, there is always that, Andy. It could well be rammed. You just don't know. I'm banking on there being a space because the place is massive. There's going to be somewhere down the A5 that you're going to be able to get a space, and then it's just a case of like fish off the barrow, leave the gear loaded, just sit on the floor or whatever, lie on the floor, providing it's not too wet, and just wait it out, look where the fish are, and then see if anybody moves, and shift onto them as quick as I can. That's the plan, and I'm not going to limit myself to 30 wraps either. I'm just going to not bother putting it around the distance sticks, take the clip off, and aim for the middle. I hope we can get back to see football again. I'm not sure with this Kung Fu passport. I think I've got mine, Dave. They haven't officially given them, but you get one of these, mate, when you've had your second jab, or I did anyway. I'll cover mine up a little bit before I turn it round. But there's mine, and that's my passport. As far as I'm concerned, I was told when I got my second jab the other week, on the 6th, to keep it with me. So, which is why it's in with me. It's in with me mobile phone. In there, and that's where to keep it. And as far as I'm concerned, that's my passport. Because I'm double jabbed now. So I'm all right for mine, mate. I don't really care what if they say you need to prove you've had 2 jabs. I can anyway, and it's there. I've got the proof with me. So I'm not too worried about COVID passports and stuff like that. I mean, I don't want to go abroad anyway. If I get holidays from work, I generally spend them fishing anyway. So I've never really been abroad. I just go fishing instead, and I've always done that. So I'm quite happy. You know, if they say, oh, you can't come in unless you've had 2 jabs, yeah, let me in, and that's the end of it. They haven't offered the under 45s any jabs here in NI. Well, they're only just doing it here, Dave, as well. I'm fortunate I got mine. I work for the organisation that's dishing them out, and the first thing we did was vaccinate everybody who works there. It was the first target to vaccinate all the staff. So I've been double jabbed already, even though I'm only 54. So yeah, they haven't. I don't think they have in this country either, Dave, under 45s. I think they may just be starting them now, or they have started them this week. Pre-basing going well. Right, okay, that sounds interesting. Always like it when people pre-base. Got to put the graft in. Danny, all right, mate? Work party Saturday, netting and fished a childhood pool with a few carp. Never take a camera. Decided to bring a camera Sunday, managed a little scaly one. Good fun, mate. That's it, good fun. Don't know about doing work parties though, mate, especially on Saturday. All it did was rain. That couldn't have been much fun. On a netting on Saturday in that weather. All I can say is, mate, rather you than me. The shallows were empty last night. Right, okay, Andy, that's good. Good to know. They may well get down there if it's empty. They'll go where the lines aren't. And they quite often make their way down there, even at this time of year. I've seen them down there on freezing cold days in January, down them shallows. So, yeah, I've been keeping tabs on it. Like I think there was 5 or 6 on Monday night and about 11 last night, something like that. I am keeping tabs on it, like looking on Facey to see what's what, and I'm expecting it to be busy on Saturday. No getting away from it, like, but there are so many big fish in there now. And as I was chatting to Kev last night, and Kev mentioned this as well, he said the majority of the fish in there at the moment will be over £20 because it's April, mid-April. They're about 4 to 6 weeks away from spawning, and they're all carrying extra pounds. So the fish that are normally like 17 plus, 18 plus will all be 20s. They'll all be over the mark because they're carrying extra weight, or the females will anyway. The males won't be that much different, I don't think. But yeah, it's peak time, Danny, Andy, isn't it? It's peak time, which is what's swinging me towards going. Even with the jab, I still can't get back to work. Furloughed since last March. Bloody hell, Dave. Really? You can't get back to work even now? Even though you've been jabbed? What is it you do, mate, that's keeping you away? Evening, James. You decided against the Delcams. Can't afford them at the minute. Gone for a pair of mini microns. Wish you luck, mate. Yeah. You go with what you can afford. One thing I would say, James, is you can always upscale or uptrade. Most of the gear I got when I started, and I'm still like that now with some things, is second hand, mate. Okay, I bought me Delks new, but I've got 2 sets of Shimano reels, and they were both second hand. I wouldn't pay new for them. Like, I think they're about £400 new, something like that, or they were when they came out. But I didn't pay anywhere near that for them, like, because they were all second hand. And yeah, just trade up, mate, as and when you can. You know, you've got a set of alarms there to go fishing with, and that's all you need. You can get better rods, better alarms, sell off what you've got, add money to them, and upgrade. That's the way I do things. I don't think I'd ever go out and buy something brand spanking new. I've only done it a few times. I bought me rods brand new, me Torics. I had them specially made for me. They were expensive. I think they worked out about 800 quid, something like that, for a set of 3. But you know, I've not really done that with much else. The new stuff I buy generally is, and if it's £100 or £200 or so, that's okay. But for like major ticket items like your alarms, your reels, your rods and stuff like that, I've always upgraded and bought second hand first. I had infinity rods and they were second hand. Infinity reels, again, set of 3, second hand. Didn't buy them new. Get the foxes for now, upgrade in the future. He's right. No space in the office or work for all staff. Apparently everyone needs to be sat 6 feet apart, so you can't get in the office. So it's been 80% pay for over a year now. That's ace, mate, as far as I'm concerned. If you're getting 80% and you sit in a room, that's great. You know, I mean, I'm a room, but I've actually had to work. They give me a laptop, and I have to sit here at this desk grafting all day until 5 o'clock. But it does have its advantages. I mean, I start at 8:30 and I roll out of bed at 25 past. I haven't got to drive anywhere in the car, and once I've logged in and said hello to everybody, like, I can go and get dressed. So it works out quite well for me. I phoned, emailed and went into work and asked to get back to work. I get no joy from them. Fair enough, mate. Stay where you are. Stay where you are and keep taking the money. They're dropping, Danny says they're dropping social distancing rules in June. I don't know whether that's true, like. Danny's been home for a year now. Can't say I'm looking forward to going back, loving the peace and quiet. Yeah, I'm the same. I don't want to go back. And they did a poll, didn't they? There was something on the telly the other day about a poll of people going back to work. And 5% said never. I must be a 5%er because I don't really want to go back. But it was quite an interesting poll. Like, most seem to think that we wouldn't really go back. And it hasn't even been discussed in our office. We're all just still staying home. I wouldn't mind, but I went to work twice last week. Actually went in physically, and the car parks are full, and you wouldn't think anybody was off. Mad. I had to go in because my VPN was knackered. You know, the virtual private network they give you for hooking up to the system, to the mainframe, was goosed. So I had to go in for a couple of days, like, until they got it fixed. But yeah, I'm quite happy staying home. Just about clears the monthly bills and mortgage, and you're left with like 50 quid for the month. No, that's not a lot, is it, really, when you think about it? I mean, you spend that in fishing tackle. Look at the road map. Yeah. Living off the wife's wages. She's got 3 shifts left and then maternity leave starts, so it's hard. Kept man. At least you'll be around the house when the kid's born, Dave. You know, that'll be golden time, that, mate. You know, you'll be right there at the start, which is great. Changes in June. Yeah, it's very flexible. That changed though, Danny, isn't it? It's subject to, I mean, the R rate will still have to be under 1, I would imagine. If they get it like a spike in people getting it and deaths and stuff like that, then they may just push that back a little bit. We'll have to wait and see. It's all very flexible, isn't it? Very liquid. So maybe June, maybe not. I'm not so sure, mate. I don't know. I'd like to think these vaccinations that we're getting will mean people won't die, and that even if everybody does get it, there'll be no deaths. That's what we're looking for, isn't it? And what they're crossing their fingers for. But we'll have to wait and see. You went back last July, never been out since. Yeah, I think a lot of people were like that, Gizmo. I think the only people who are really offered in the service sector, most of them, aren't they? People in pubs and like restaurants and stuff like that who haven't been able to serve anybody. They seem to be the bulk of the people who's not in work. Kids due started July. Looking forward to that. Yeah. Might curtail your fishing a bit though, Dave. They're not going to go back now with so many double vaccinated. That's how the vaccine works. Woody and Boris saying this low isn't down to vaccine. Well, it's down to the lockdown. I'd agree with that, Danny. He's closed everywhere that you'd normally pass it on. Is closed. Like the pub, betting shops, stuff like that. There's people who can't open. They're the kind of places where it gets passed on. So yeah, lockdown's got a lot to do with it, mate. And during the lockdown, obviously they've vaccinated everybody. I think he's done well, Boris. He's done brilliant job so far. He's had the plan. Lock us down, get the rate right down, and get everybody vaccinated. And he's done it. You look at us and where we are, and you look at all the other countries in the European Union and places like that. They couldn't organise a piss up. He's done a cracking job. So if he carries on and we don't go back into lockdown, we'll see how it goes. That was his plan in the first place. Like, whether it works or not, it's a different thing. But if it helps and stops people dying, then it's been worthwhile. No, not the first jab, January, so not telling me that the bulk of people not seeing the benefits of both jabs now. Well, they've done a lot of people. I got my first one in January as well, Danny, but I know people my age who were in class with me at school who have literally only just had their first jab in the last couple of weeks. So, it's very much, there's a lot of people have had the jab now, the first one, but it still doesn't come to many. How many have had the first jab now? In millions, do we know? 30? Something like that. Out of a population, I think we've got about 70 million people in this country, so less than half have had their first jab. And the other day it was 5 million had had both. So it's still a long way to go, mate. Granted, most of the people who have had it and have had a double jab are the vulnerable, which is great. They're the ones who are most likely to get knocked off anyway, aren't they? The rest of the world isn't getting vaccinated. They're waiting for us all to get vaccinated, then we can send them money for theirs. Harsh but true. Yeah, I'd go along with that, mate. Some of them just can't afford it anyway, and the ones that can afford it are pretty chaotic, like the Eurozone. That's a problem with European countries. Like, they're all bound by these flaming nut jobs who were unelected, and they can't work anything else between them. They spend ages dithering over booking these jabs and getting them off companies like AstraZeneca, whereas we just went ahead and got them. We pre-ordered. This is what we need to do. This is what we'll have. Get the order in. They were arguing for months between themselves before they even got an order in, and then there's all of a sudden they're complaining there's a shortage. Serves them right. There should be some stats for over 60s saying getting it and still going. Ozzy, you're not going to hospital. Yeah, well, you'd think so, yeah. I know the hospital admission rates are low at the moment, and the infection rate's quite low, especially here in Wirral. A lot of the beds in our hospital are empty, and we've not got that many COVID patients in there, but it's still locked down, obviously. But you would hope that if it does spring back up again, that people aren't going to be admitted and they'll just be able to see it out like a cold. Going to work similar to the flu jab, innit? The flu can hospitalise you or even kill you, and you'd have a flu jab every year. I had mine in October, something like that, for the flu. So it should be all right, I reckon. Mr. Tyler, all right, mate? You thought there'd been some stats on that by now. Well, there might be, Danny. We haven't seen them yet. The first people who are going to get a look at that are likely to be, the government themselves and the people who are designing the vaccine in the first place, the scientists. They're the ones who are going to get that. Eventually it will come to us. But I think they've got a lot of information that's not out in the public domain yet. I think the next thing will be Jab 2.0, yeah, as it won't be long before over 60s might need the next one. Yeah, I'm expecting that, Danny. I'm expecting a yearly one from now on, like a booster or a new jab every 12 months or so, like the flu jab. They may even refine it and mix it in together, so it's with the flu jab. You don't know what they can do these days, but I would expect it to be refined and be given again every year. It's going to be 2.0, 3.0, and that's going to be for life. I don't think we're ever going to get rid of it. I would like to think we could, but it could be here for an awful long time. But as long as we get reasonably back to normal, I think we'll be all right. I mean, I'm not sure sitting outside the pub on, like last Saturday in the pouring rain when it was freezing cold, is drinking lager or bitter is a good idea. Myself, I think people might be heading for the pub and having a drink outside and socialising in the fresh air, but it's freezing cold, and eventually people will when it does rain and it is cold, people will say, sod that, I'll go when it's warmer. And although they're all up for it at the moment, later on they'll be going, nah, don't think so. You get your second jab next month, right? Okay, looking forward to having a proper brew with your nan. Yeah, go to hers every morning and not being in her house for a year. That's a shame, that, Danny. I've got family members suffering like that. My mum, she's not seen her grandkids or anything like that. Well, when I say she hasn't seen them, one of them was at the front door today dropping stuff off, but it's she's not, do you know what I mean, she's not even had a hug off any of them or been out with them or anything like that in over a year. So she's suffering, mate. But once you're double jabbed and your nan's double jabbed, then you've got it included in your bubble, haven't you, as best you can. If you're isolating anyway, Danny, and you're at home and not going to work, then you should be okay to go in and see her, I would say, especially once you're both jabbed. just include it in your little bubble, but stay away from everybody else. Half time 0-0. Thanks, Rob. That's not good. We need to win 2-0, don't we? Pod or bank sticks? Pod. Always Gizmo, pod. I've never used bank sticks, don't like them. You stick them in the ground and, you know, they twist over on a take, something like that. You have to have stabilizers on them and stuff, and I just can't be bothered with it. I've got my old KJB pod, which I've had now for 30 years, over 30 years, and I just put it down on the ground, straighten it out, and stick my rods on it, and that's it. And it goes on any kind of bank, muddy, dry, concrete, wood, platforms, stuff like that. It goes on anything. You just drop it on the floor, and no trouble. Don't have to try and push a bank stick in. Never had anything like that. Sometimes maybe have to use a bungee elastic to stop it from tipping over if it's dead windy. You know, if it's like a gale force wind. I have a bungee elastic that I can, and a couple of T-pegs off, you know, like bivvy pegs, and I can stick the bivvy pegs in the ground and wrap a bungee elastic around it so it won't tip over in an extreme wind. But yeah, always a pod, mate. Never a bank stick. I think bank sticks are an awful idea for the carp setup. Myself. 80 last February. Wow. I actually think I had COVID and it was rough. Rough as hell. I couldn't taste it. The cat, so it helped. Right, okay. Yeah, that's good. She's in Auntie's bubble. Right, okay. They take a shopping just round the corner. Yeah, I've got my mum in my bubble, mate, and my mum just turned 84 last week, a few days ago. She just turned 84. She's going for a knee replacement on Friday. She's getting knee replacement surgery. So our house is completely in isolation at the moment. Nobody's allowed in or out. Ahead of her op. I took her for a drive-through COVID test yesterday, which will hopefully be negative. They said they'll only contact us if it's not. So, yeah. Things are looking good in our house at the moment. Sticks for piking. Yeah, it all depends what you're doing, doesn't it? I mean, I like the simplicity of a pod. I carry it around with me fully assembled and I just drop it on the floor. No issues, no nothing. But I think with bank sticks, like, you never know what kind of ground you're in. If it's soft, that's all right. You can get the bank sticks in easy. But then they tip over on a take. So if you've got front and bank stick and you get a run and it goes bleh, or the back one will go, so they end up like that as a rod buckles round. They're a pain in the arse. So I would definitely say pod. Yeah, you're welcome, mate. Yeah, it's she's going in Friday morning, mate, 7 o'clock, Rob. I'll drop her off. That's why I'm going into the Midlands on Saturday to go fishing, because I've got I can't go visiting or anything like that. She's going to be in for a few days, so I've got like 1 week of freedom when I don't have to worry about her or anything. I can just go where I want, basically. I can leave first thing in the morning, come back last thing at night, and I've not been able to do that for a long time, like. So yeah, I'll try and get myself a session in down there while she's in, and then that'll be it. Then once she comes out, I'll be change to fishing locally again, or short sessions, as they say. Yeah, cheers Rob, cheers Danny. hopefully, fingers crossed, like it'll be alright. Bankside tomorrow night, so we need to get this vlog edited. Alright, cheers Danny. See you, mate. Right, who's left? Yeah, well, they opened up the elective surgery about a month ago, Rob, something like that. No, it wasn't a month ago, was it? It was a couple of weeks ago. On the 29th, they restarted elective surgery, you know, like doing hip replacements and knee replacements and, you know, stuff like that. On a limited basis, it's all going again. So, fingers crossed. Yeah, I mean, she had hers cancelled at the last minute when we went into lockdown last time, so the fact that they got it in so quick is great. And yeah, she's strong enough just about. So we'll see how it goes anyway. If she gets back on her feet, it'll be great for me because it'll give me more freedom. At the moment, I'm pretty much stuck at home a lot of the time. Like, I don't like leaving her even for like 5 hours on a Saturday. I always tell her like to sort it out before I go out, and then say, you know, keep your phone on you. Make sure it's in your pocket and not like on a table or anything like that. So if she walks off anywhere and falls, she's got a phone in her hand. So yeah. Hopefully, like, it'll sort her out and I'll be able to go a bit further and a bit longer. That'll do me. Otherwise, it's as you were. Evening, Will. You all right, mate? You getting out, Will? After Mennington, have you been out again since then, or stuck in? I'm going to say you're stuck in. Waking. Are we pretty much fully open now, by the way? As in, you know, you can go anywhere, do anything. You can go back into Wales, can't you? You can get into Wales now, which is great, because the water I wanted to film me videos on is in Wales. And I haven't been able to go, which annoyed the hell out of me. Yeah, you've been working and you haven't been back. Yeah, fair play, mate. At least you got on there quite early, Will. I believe that lake behind you that you put in your video, at Mennington, Will, I believe they're opening that. Is that right? It's due to open shortly. Just picked up 3 rods. Right, okay, Andy, what have you got? PU. PU. Nine foot 2.75. I'm looking at the PU, mate, trying to work out what it means. 9 foot 2.75. PU. Ignore PU. Right, okay. Sometimes, Andy, I don't know whether you know, my mind goes blank and I can't remember things, and I'm sitting there thinking, PU, what does that mean? Doesn't mean anything, but I don't know if it does or it doesn't. I'll look out for your old ones in the sales section on the forums. Good lad. Next year, got in trouble filming and had to re-edit the video so don't get banned. What were you getting in trouble for, Will? If you don't mind me asking. Did you not like filming at Merrington or something? Because I watched Johnny Tosh was on there at the same time as you from Chasing Chunks, and I was watching his video, like, and he never mentioned anything about getting in trouble. What's the water in Wales you want to fish? Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure if I can tell you, mate. Oh, filming the new lake. Right, okay. Don't really suppose he can stop you doing that, Will. Don't know why it would get you in trouble either, to be honest. You should be grateful of the publicity. I didn't even know they dug a new lake. Strange people. Probably just didn't want to barrage your phone calls about it. Oh, when can I fish the new lake? What's in it? When is it going to be open? Everybody asking questions. I don't know. Just seems strange. Did ban you or anything like that, or have a word with you over that, over something as trivial as that, especially for a day ticket water that relies on publicity? Shall we tell James what water I'm going to be fishing in Wales? Pasty heaven, James. Pasty heaven. I'll give you the clue, mate. It's a Warrington water. Warrington anglers. And there's been plenty of videos on it before. I've seen quite a few people film on there before, like, so it shouldn't be a problem. Yes, mate, it is. Well done. Right first time. Yeah, gonna do me filming on the mount. So they have to take it down or not welcome me in there again. And I already paid for 2 days at the end of the month. So I just took the lake out of the video. Fair play, mate, that's alright then. How very strange that he said you wouldn't be welcome there again. Just over there. Very strange. Well, as you want to fish there, Will, you might as well go along with their request. I would answer yes to that, James. Is May the last great month in the year for carp? Yeah. It's the last great month. It's the best month, without a doubt, by far. More fish get caught in May than any other month of the year. April is second, and I would say probably June is third. So we're in it now, April, May, June. We're in the best months of the year at the moment. So yeah, it's the last great month. I mean, there are some pretty good months throughout the year, like June, July, August, September, October. They're all reasonable. But you catch as the year goes on, like you catch the most in April and May, and then after that they decline slowly. You get a decline in your catch rates as they go down. But yeah, May is the best, without a doubt. It's a good time to be out. Yeah, and you should spend as much time on the bank as possible. There's 2 bank holidays in May, one at the beginning and one at the end. I always have the first one off, beginning of May. That first week in May, block it. And I'll be on the bank a bit myself then. I'll try and fish most days I'm off, if I can. Oh, right, okay, James, you're 5 minutes away, right, okay, yeah. That's about as far away from the mount as Andy is. Yeah, a decent ticket, mate. What, 40, 50 quid a year, something like that. Decent ticket. Plenty of other waters on the ticket as well besides the mount, although obviously if it's round the corner from you. I believe it's flooded at the moment, so there's not many pegs on it. So I'll have to wait until it dries out, but I intend to do a few of my videos on there if I can. He's a funny chap as it is. More than likely not go again if he's funny about it. Well, this is it. Will, there's plenty of other places in there. You know, if he's arsey, and then you just don't give him any money. Simple as that. It's swings and roundabouts, isn't it? The thing is, he'll always survive. There'll always be people queuing up to give him money to fish with his fish. That's the way it is. But, you know, if someone's an arse with you, then you just don't go back and give him a wide berth. I don't. Yeah. Yeah, to do, James. Book a week off at the start of May. May Day. First Monday in May is a bank holiday. It's bank holiday weekend. And every year, for as long as I can remember, I've had the Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday and Friday off. So I only need 4 days to make a full week off. So I always book that, mate. So when we finish for the bank holiday weekend, I don't go back till the week on Monday. So, and I'll just go fishing most of that week. I'll pull the stops out and really make an effort. Go as often as I can and spend as much time out there as I can trying to catch them. I usually target a more difficult water around about that time. Somewhere where you've got a chance of something special. And I'll take my chance and have a crack at it and see if it works out. In years gone by, I've fished Sandhurst at that time of year, linear fisheries, Cromwell. I generally try and aim for that first week of May if I'm doing a day ticket or anything like that, and spend a couple of days or that. Although this year I'm not going. The lads are going to Norton Disney in 2 weeks' time, including Andy, wherever he is. But I had to pull out as a family. But yeah, May, beginning first week of May is generally when I make an effort, and then I'll just keep going then through May as often as I can. That's it, mate. I wouldn't have gone but paid for me next session on there before the funny messages. Yeah, that's the thing. He's got you there then, hasn't he? Yeah. Just do your session on there and then put the footage back in. Yeah. I suppose if you turn around to him, Will, and said, well, if I'm not welcome here, then I'll have my money back, please. He'll soon change his tune. But yeah, some of them are funny like that. That's just the way it is. I didn't see any of the other lake in John's video anyway, which is probably why he had no trouble. Obviously he's a bit arsey about it. Don't know why. Maybe he hasn't declared it. Who knows? But obviously it's dug and full of water and it must have fish in it, or he's about to stock it. I don't know. But it has come on in leaps and bounds, that place. I remember when it was stocked, when it first started, there was no 30s in there or anything like that. And over the years, the fish have certainly grown in there, Yeah, if you catch anything decent, don't give them any pics. Yeah, keep them for yourself, mate. That's right. They survive on publicity, day ticket waters, mate. They're just if you're running a decent day ticket water and you want people on the bank and you want bums on seats, then you need to get the publicity out there, really, don't you? Look at Linear, it's like a machine. Every day they've got catches going on there and how many swims are free and stuff like that. Trying to keep bums on seats all the time. Yeah, Lionel's used to do it when it was open, mate, but it's gone now, hasn't it? You can get one in the Tackle Locker in Chester, if you know where it is, James. The Tackle Locker. Have you been to that one before? They do a membership in there. Just go in and ask them for a Warrington card. I assume you do know where the Tackle Locker is. I think everybody knows that place. Says he's filming it himself, so it could have ruined his project. I don't know why, Will. Just someone else filming on there. I mean, loads of people film on different lakes, or the same lakes. Like, it's not really ruining his project, is it? Unless it's just like his publicity video. They probably fly a drone over it or something like that. Say, this is the new lake. Here's how many fish are in it. Blah 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 blah. Unless it's just a publicity video. I don't understand why it would ruin his project. How very strange. Yeah, I need to get another video made anyway. I'm a big fat knob. Fair play, mate. Tell it as it is. Yeah, I need to get another video made, and I've been getting work done at the house. Fitting the bathroom at the moment. I've got a bathroom fitted in he's ripped out the old bathroom and he's replastering and retiling the bathroom and the toilet. And I've had two bloody big pieces of plywood, because, you know, the tiles for the floor, bathroom floor, are going on a plywood base. I've had these two bloody big pieces of plywood in the kitchen. Like a vanity unit and a sink stood in the kitchen, and two doors leaning up against the worktops in the kitchen, because there's like bits of bathroom all over the house at the moment, and I haven't been able to get in the kitchen. But I went up there before, like, it's all been cleared out, so all the plywood's gone, and the doors were gone as well. Like, there's only the vanity unit and the thing left, the bathroom sink. So yeah, I can actually get in the kitchen now, so I might start a new video. I don't think it'll be this weekend, like, but midweek. It's getting light enough now where I can go to the brickies, so I'm thinking I might start a new video, and I'll be back in the kitchen again for a while. Hi Starlight UK, alright mate, welcome along. You would have dropped him in a heartbeat. What is it about fishery managers or bailiffs that someone always wants to lamp on one? They don't endear themselves to people at all, do they? Didn't you do a vid on insect repellent? I did. Couldn't find it earlier. Yeah, Yvonne's skin so soft is running out, so what next, jungle? Either or, Rob. That was what the video was about. Insect repellent. It's there on the channel somewhere. I can't remember where. It's buried somewhere, but if you click on videos and then just scroll through them, you should be able to find it there. The crux of the video was there's two ways of stopping mozzies, or potentially two ways of stopping them. One is Avon Skin So Soft, which has got citronella in it, and the other is Jungle Formula, which is based on DEET. Now, some mozzies don't like citronella and some don't like DEET, and the crux of the video was try one, and if it doesn't work, use the other, and one of them will. So if you're all right with Avon Skin So Soft, mate, then stick with it. Just get yourself another one. They're only cheap. And if it's not working for you, then get yourself a bottle of Jungle Formula. My advice is do both. No, James, I don't do property development on the side. I'm doing a house up. And just having it modernised, basically. It's getting new everything, mate. It's new bathrooms just to start. There's going to be a new kitchen in it, and every room in the house is going to be gutted and redone, including the hall and the landing as well. It's getting new flooring, new walls, new wallpaper, the lot. Everything's getting done, because eventually, I'm going to be living in it. So yeah, I'm not doing property development, mate. It's just for me, this place. I wish I could do property development, but no. No. I do have a couple of sidelines, James, but I don't really want to say what they are, to be honest. Andy knows. Andy Clark. He's privy to discussions with other people who have the same sideline as me. But property development is not it, mate. YouTube's a sideline, really. On the quiet, YouTube's a bit of a sideline. You would have to meet him to understand. I've met plenty. Yeah, well, I've come across a few whoppers in my time, mate. I don't want to meet another one, to be honest. I just like a quiet life, mate. I just want to go fishing. I just like having a walk around the lake, find the fish, drop on them, and get a bait in the area that they are, and that's my fishing. I don't like having to deal with idiots and stuff like that, and I don't like waters where you have to book like that, and where they're absolutely rammed with people. That's the reason I stopped going to linear. I've not been to linear fisheries since, I think the last time I went was 2002. So it's been 19 years since I set foot on linear fisheries. And look at the place now. It's like I don't know, not heaven in it. Full of people. And it was getting bad when I decided I wasn't going again. But I've been to a few day ticket waters since then, but we booked a lake out. So whenever I've been to Sandhurst, the lake's been hired out for the weekend, so no one can get anywhere near it except us. And the same with Cromwell, we booked the whole lake, so no one else there except us. And the lads have booked Norton Disney this year. There'll be nobody there except them, just on the lake. So you don't have any idiots, because there's one thing you found with day ticket waters, it just knobs everywhere, mate. Yeah, I'm looking forward to moving into it when it's finished, James. It should be all right. Yeah, got a couple of side hustles, mate. People ask me what do I do for a living. I just say, which job? I reckon I've got 3, but I've got one card's in where I pay tax, and the others are very much side hustles. But you've got to do that these days. You've got to have multiple streams of income to get by. You don't just rely on one wage if you can help it. You get a bit more from other things on the quiet. If you can make money from your hobby, turn a hobby into a way of making money, stuff like that, then do it. Or if you've got some spare cash and you can use it to make more money, then you do it, don't you? So, yeah, I've got a couple of hustles, mate, but I don't like talking about them. But yeah, I'm looking forward to moving into the house, like, eventually. It's going to take ages to do it. I mean, I've literally only just started. I've got a guy in now who's fitting the bathroom. I think the bathroom's costing me, I think so far it's up to £8,500 for the bathroom. That's just the bathroom, but it's going to be stunning when it's finished. No, 11 views isn't going to get me rich, Starlight. Yeah. You do know this isn't my main channel. This is my live stream channel. I don't make any money out of this at all. Like, I just don't do this for money. I just do it for a laugh, and to pass some time, and to speak to some of the lads who are subscribed to my channel. But it's not my main channel by any stretch. I think my main channel's got 6,000 something subscribers, and at the moment, like, it's doing about 1,200 views a day, something like that. Not as many as some. I think Danny gets a lot more on his, but it's doing about between 1,200 and 1,400 views a day, every day, and it pulls in about 50 quid a month, something like that, in advertising revenue. So that's one of my side hustles. YouTube is a side hustle, because you get paid for the advertising. They serve adverts on your videos, so when people watch them, you get a few pence, and yeah, comes in about 50 quid a month, something like that. So that's a side hustle, really, isn't it? An extra, £10 a week, 500 a year, something like that. It mounts up over time. Yeah, Fighting Fisherman. Yeah, I've seen his channel, James. I've seen a few of his videos. I like the one he did on bait. The biggest scam in carp fishing was just brilliant. That's what made his channel, what blew his channel up. Is he just basically had a big long rant about people making boilies and they're not the be all and end all and stuff like that. I thought it was brilliant. But yeah, I've seen his a few times, mate. The Fighting Fisherman. It was a funny video. He just literally just went on one, didn't he? I've actually been thinking of making a reply video to that. I was thinking of doing one about a year ago, maybe 18 months ago, not long after he'd first published it. I was gonna do one myself, based around the same thing, but I never did. But one thing you will find with me, like in my videos, is I'll always have a dig at bait companies, tackle companies, about the prices they charge and things like that. I'm always having a sly little dig at them. Yeah, his videos about boilies, yeah, they're great, aren't they? Just completely rants. But I like that, he's an honest guy, and he's saying what he sees, and I see what he sees, pretty much the same. So yeah, I'm quite happy having a sly little dig, and I always point out things in my videos that tackle companies don't want you to know, or don't want you to bother with, like dropping the lead. I showed the video on how to drop a lead without using a kit. Not going to cost you £5 for the kit and £2 each for the leads. You just use tubing or whatever. It's you don't need to buy loads of stuff. So same with making videos on particles. Like, there's other ways to catch carp besides boilies. You don't have to buy boilies. for like 8 or 10 quid a kilo, or however much they rip you off with them nowadays. Don't need to do it. So that's what my channel's about, saving money. That's why I do it, save people money. But I wouldn't have thought I'm flavour of the month with with the tackle companies and the bait companies. But they ain't flavour of the month with me either, as far as I'm concerned. They're all robbing scroats. So I'm quite happy to, where I can, stick the boot into them. Power mesh. So your rod's a 9 foot, 2.75 test curve power mesh, Andy, is that right? Being there but not going there. What's that, Gizmo? Being where? Sorry. There you go. James says, cheers, Andy, for the delks. He was spot on. Yeah, he went with Fox microns, I think, instead in the end, Andy. But yeah, you can always upgrade at a later date. Should start making some podcasts, James. Yeah, I can honestly listen to you talk about fishing for hours. I can talk about it for hours, mate. It's one of the reasons to do these live streams in the first place. It's an outlet for me to gab. You could have a guest on, such as the fighting fisherman. That would be a good one. Yeah, we'd tear the arse out of all of them. Yeah. At this kind of, I was actually thinking of renaming this live stream a podcast, because that's basically what it is. I'm just sitting here with a microphone chatting to you guys, and answering any questions and stuff like that, and maybe tell the odd story or whatever. I was thinking of renaming it a podcast, like the Carp Fishing Podcast or something like that, just to see if it appeals to a wider audience. I don't know. Podcasts are already being done. I think Matt from Fanta Fishing's just done his first. He's doing a podcast and having guests on. And he's just done his first, and had a YouTuber on called Nick someone, who's caught a lot of fish over the years, from down where he lives. But yeah, I don't know. I'd have to have some guests on and stuff like that, wouldn't I? It's easier just doing it on your own and answering the questions that come to you through the live chat. I think I prefer it that way, to be honest, than actually arranging to do a podcast. But yeah, it's always an option. Thing is, it's been done to death, hasn't it? Nash has got loads of podcasts, Corder's doing podcasts, they're all at it. So I don't really want to go down that road, to be honest. I'd rather just stick with the lives, because not many people are doing them. Future fishing. Evening, Ewan. You okay, mate? How's life treating you, Ewan? People starting carp fishing. Yeah. Yeah. I tell you what, the videos on my channel, if you're starting something, then the videos on my channel will be a massive help to some people, whether it's carp, lure fishing, barbel fishing. There's something in there for everybody that will help you with getting started. I've had loads of comments about, especially the lure fishing videos, like jig fishing, where I actually explain what a jig is and how you rig it. The number of people who've said, I never knew that, I wish someone had told me that when I started, or thanks for that, you've explained it quite well, and I was struggling to get to grips with it, so yeah, the videos have been quite helpful to people, which is good. You could probably write a book based on that year you charted your numbers month by month. Yeah, I probably could, James. I was a full-timer back then. I got made redundant in December And the first week in January, I'd bought a season ticket and a bed chair and a bivvy, and I was fishing. And I never even bothered looking for a job. Didn't even bother. Just signed on once a week, cashed my gyro, and went to the lake. I had enough money behind me to pay me car insurance and my road tax and stuff like that, so I could keep my car on the road for a few years. And I just went fishing. And that was it, January to December. It's the only month I could measure and get it, you know, have like proper facts for every month, because other years, you know, like you stop in December or you don't bother in November and stuff like that. That month, that year, I just went right through, and I was virtually a full timer. I was doing like 72 hours a week on the bank all the time, and I did that from January 92 until 95, September 95. So I was like 3.5 years where I did nothing but go fishing, literally. I was just, I was a bit mad. I went a bit overboard. I blew myself out in the end, and I stopped fishing September 95, stopped fishing altogether, went back to work, got a job, went back to work, and then I spent about 8 months sorting my stuff out, sorting my head out for what I wanted to do. And when I came back to fishing after those 8 months, I was a day angler. I never night fished again, or I didn't very much, like I still did. But that's when I targeted Cape Stonehall, June 1996, first time I went to Capes. And I stepped my game up from there, like. And yeah, I was a full timer for 3.5 years. So I could probably write a book just on that year alone. I mean, my Northwest Carp blog, the blog's linked on. A lot of the videos have got a link in the description or in the pin to the comments section. There's like 115 articles, just written. So there's a book already out there, really, James. It's just divided down into articles on my blog and supported with videos. There's a stack of stuff out there, mate. I've done loads. I think I wrote my first article in 2007, something like that, and it's 2021 now. I used to do loads. I used to do one a week, but I cut it down now. Maybe do about 3 or 4 a year, something like that. But yeah. And the same with the YouTube videos. I don't do loads now. I just do, you know, one every 2 months if I can. It's about where I'm up to, because I like to spend some time fishing for myself. Yeah, I'm a newbie. Confer and Mark's visit the only ones I use. That and the experience of fishing alongside your dad. That's gold. That, James, fishing alongside your dad, you'll learn so much from doing that. 1000%, Mark. yeah. I try and get as much in for the beginner as I can, mate. That's the way I do my videos, to try and help people along. But yeah, I've been at it for ages. I mean, I started carp fishing in '89, but before that, I was a float angler. I'd fished a float, waggler. I knew how to use a stick float. I could handle a pole easily. I'd fished in matches, because I started when I was 5. So it was like early 70s when I started fishing. Like, I was already really competent when I turned to carp fishing, so I didn't find it that difficult. Thought, oh yeah, I like this. And yeah, spent my life doing it now. Not done any fishing for a while now, having a break for a while, but we'll be back out definitely when the river's open again. Right, okay, Ewan, yeah, fair play, mate. You can't go fishing all the time, can you? I had a fair break at Christmas time when we were in lockdown. Now we're out of lockdown, mate. I don't know what you're waiting for. Get yourself out there now. Mind you, it's not really predator season anymore, is it? It's time to hang it up for a while. I can give it a rest until maybe October. So I can understand you having a break, mate. Fair play. do something further with that full-time year. Yeah, it's no, you won't see anything like it online. Like, not many people have actually done anything like that or would have the experience to do it, James. Go through, catch stats for a whole year like that. I was fishing a place called Burton Mere at the time, if you know it, in South Wirral. That's where it was, and it's a cracking year. Jesus, I caught so many fish, hundreds and hundreds of them. But yeah, it's still my most productive year ever. I don't think I've ever caught that many fish in a year since. But some of the things I was doing that year, like, I mean, that year I was on that lake, and that's been documented in that video. That was the first year I used the cog lead. The cog lead system that I think called it. I've got it for sale now, haven't they? Cog lead system. That was the first time I used the cog lead, like 1992. So yeah, I used a lot of other things that year as well, like hemp, even though it was banned. I became a bloody good rule breaker. Which is what you do when you live on the bank and you end up like a bank tramp. You learn how to bend all the rules. What you can and can't get away with. But yeah, first time I saw the cog lead, used the cog lead, was 1992. And yeah, I'm going to do a video on that, the cog. How to do it without having to buy a kit. And yeah, without having to buy a £5 kit, how to use a cog lead or how to set up a cog lead. So I'll teach you how to do it without it costing you a fortune. Instead of £5 for the kit, it'll cost you about 10 pence. Do it the proper way. Yeah, that account was bang on, and it shows the catch rate as well for the year, like January, February. It's it's hard going in January, carp fishing, and February maybe a bit better as the days are getting longer. March it's picking up, April's great, May's great, June's not so bad, or in my case it was great, but mainly down to the fact that the fish had never seen the beach caster rig before. Again, beach caster rig, 1992. I was using that. You'd hardly ever see it used nowadays with people floater fishing. Who uses the beach caster rig still? I don't know. I've got to be honest, I haven't used it myself for a while. Maybe I could make that a video as well. But yeah, I used a beach caster that year. There's loads of methods, things that have been forgotten about over the years or not used so much these days, or people still think are relatively new when they're not. They've been around for donkey's years. It's all just experience, isn't it? You've been at it for so long, like you come across all these things. I remember when I started in '89, I was hungry for anything, and I was getting Carp World and Big Fish World and Big Carp. They were the magazines that were out at the time. Getting hold of as many books as I could, like Rod Hutchinson, Carp Strikes Back, Kevin Maddox, Carp Fever, and I'd read them and I'd reread them and I'd reread them again, and I could virtually recite the articles in Carp World from the 90s off by arse back then, and I was just hungry for everything. I was looking for the adverts to see what was available, what's new, what's coming out, will this work, will that work. Because you try these things, you take them, you try them in your own fishing, and if they work, you slot them in, and if you don't, you toss them off to one side. And after 30 odd years, you've got a pile of tips and tricks that work, which is what my channel's based on, really. The good stuff. Yeah. Yeah, it was a good account, that, wasn't it? I wish I could have made it a bit more interesting, because I tell you what, you get like YouTube analytics, and you can look at the retention of your audience and how well the video's done. It's not got very good retention, that video. People haven't watched it to the end, and it's disappointing that they haven't, because there's some good stuff in there. The main one really is do something else in winter, come back to it in March, welly it between March, April, May, June, and then go off and do something else for a while. And then expect your catches to taper down towards November, and then be hard again in December. It's you can see why I change at different times. Like in June, I'll do a bit of barbel fishing after they've spawned. In November, you know, mid to late November, I'll go lure fishing, because I know the catches, bump, they're dropping off as things get cold. So you can see why I change in my fishing throughout the year. Gizmo, you're right, mate, it comes with experience, and that's why I do it, because I can keep going then. You know, I can carp fish all year. I can get to November, go lure fishing, do something else, still catching. You know, it keeps your confidence up, and it keeps you going, keeps your momentum going, because that's what it's all about. Keeping your momentum going. Reedsmere is still a challenge. I haven't done Reedsmere, Gizmo. I fished it once in the 90s and never went back. I did one night on there and went straight back to Cape Storm the next morning, because it was just rammed. I was fishing in the woods and the fish were all up the shallows. I was about as far away from the fish as I could possibly be, and I thought there's no point in staying here. So I went over to Cape Storm and fished there instead, and I never went back on the mere after that. But it's in my sights at the moment, mate. I think I'm gonna start sneaking on for the odd session here and there. You, and you're looking forward to some barbel and chub fishing. Good. Got some plans on fishing the res for big roach sometime, hopefully. The res. Are we talking about the res? The Fruit Lake res? Because you mentioned res and big roach to me, and that's straight away I think of the Fruit Lake. Pards, all right, mate. Good to see you. Where are we? The Beachcaster rig, not allowed on certain venues yet. It got banned on a lot of waters, mate. But I battered bait and mere on it. I think I had 16 carp in one day. They just couldn't work it out. You throw it out like into just dunk it either a chum mixer or a piece of floating bread. And I actually had fish come up underneath it, sitting there looking at it, not being able to work out where it was, and they'd spend like minutes there, you know, just sitting there, just lips going like that, and then they'd go whoomp straight. I don't know. They never did work it out, from what I could see. Like it just, I just battered them. Every time I cast in, I hooked a fish, and it had like a 100% hookup rate. It was superb. Just, I don't know why people don't use the Beachcaster more, to be honest, because it's such a good method. But like you say, it will literally make them paranoid after a while. Once they're under pressure on it, it will make them paranoid and ruin the water as a surface water, because they just won't go near anything, because they're going to get hooked. So it ended up getting banned from quite a few places, and you certainly don't see many people using it these days. Yeah, in the winter I'm going to spend more time brewing up and cooking on the bank than actually fishing. Yeah, I think a lot of winter carp anglers do that anyway, James, because it's short days, dark at 4 o'clock, and then 16 hours a night. There's nothing much to do. The good thing nowadays is they've got some decent power packs. I put a power pack on last week, didn't I? I held it in front of the camera, and it's on the thumbnail for the live stream last week. take a telly. I've got in the well, it's in one of the drawers somewhere, like, but I've got a little 10-inch Nikkei TV, 10.2-inch Freeview TV, and an aerial, and that's in with me night fishing stuff. So I can take me power bank and pack me telly, keep it in a little laptop bag, and it just goes with me. If I was going night fishing in winter, I would take it with me. It hasn't been used in years, like, but it's there if I need it. No, different one. Right, okay. Not many people course fish it, so it's worth a try. Right, okay, fair play you. And there's a lot of big roach in a Warrington water called the Res. And I thought you meant there. I thought Res, big roach, because Danny did a video on it. Danny Belfield. He was roach fishing on the Res, and he had some decent ones. Like, he had a couple of decent bags of roach. Big roach in Asprey, right? Okay, but won't go near anymore because it's rammed with carpers. Yeah, well, it's doing some very big fish these days, Asprey Ewan. If it was a bit closer to home, I'd probably fish there myself, to be honest. Beach caster method smashes their mouths up, especially when people have rods locked up at 90%. That's why fisheries don't like it. Right, okay. I've never known it cause any mouth damage parts. It certainly didn't when I used it. I thought it was alright myself. 180%. Yeah, I wouldn't argue, and lucky to get a peg on there. It's too far for me anyway, mate. So I generally don't bother with it. Yeah, I've never found a beach caster cause mouth damage. I mean, granted, it's been quite a while since I last used it, like, but I've always thought it was okay. Caught plenty of fish on it, loads in fact, but I never did any mouth damage or anything like that. I suppose it depends on the person using it, doesn't it, and the water you're fishing it on. I mean, I was using it on a water that was like 10 foot deep, and it was quite a way back. You know, there's like 10 foot of water from the lead to the float, and then the actual rig itself is quite a way back. So when they take it, there's loads and loads of play in the rig before you're actually able to tighten up. And I never once had the clutch locked up. It was always on a bait runner. So when they took, the bait runner would be going zzz, so it never ripped the mouths or anything like that. And it was just a case of winding down, taking the slack out of it, and you'd usually the rod would go round and it'd be all right. But I certainly never saw any mouth damage from it. But if that's why people were banning it, that's fair enough. Yeah. And I suppose it's the locking of the rod, isn't it? It's not something I've ever done. I can't really remember fishing locked up more than once or twice in my life. And it's always been against pads and snags, and I've literally been sat on the rods. Any other time I would not fish locked up, and I certainly wouldn't fish locked up with the floater set up like that. The beach caster, it's not one for fishing locked up, it's one for using a bait runner. Evening, Matt. You all right, mate? It's funny, isn't it? I mention your name and there you go, you turn up. Mr. Podcast. 0-0, 90th minute, out of the Champions League. Boo. I wasn't expecting them to turn this one round, Rob. Normally I believed he could do it, but not without the crowd. They needed the crowd. And it was never going to happen without him, to be honest. But never mind. At least now we can, concentrate on getting into 4th place, at least 4th, preferably higher. We don't want to finish outside the top 4, do we, really? So let's hope that they can get up there. Good, thanks, mate. Oh, really? Yeah, your ears must have been burning. Been turning my hands to your favourite species the last couple of weeks. I believe so, yeah, I've seen a few of your pictures, mate, on social media. The odd carp here and there. Nice one. Yeah, against snags. I would never fish locked up unless it was against snags or heavy pads or heavy weed or something like that. It's got to be something really, really bad. And to be honest, when you get to that stage, you've got to question whether you should be actually fishing there at all. But there are a few things you can do, use drop-off leads and stuff like that. But I'll be honest, it's not something that's not something I do much of. In general, like, I'm quite happy just using a bog standard rig, and I'm wary of where I'm putting it. You've been getting the sticks out a little bit, mate. I've done well in the last few months, like while we were in lockdown, Matt. I just got a ticket for the local water, and I caught a decent amount of carp out of there, like in late February, early March. I think I had about 25 fish in about 5 weeks, 6 weeks. But I went back to fishing in Cheshire 2 weeks ago, and I haven't had a fish. Blank, 2 blanks. So, but Cheshire's Cheshire. It's not so easy. But I'd rather be out there than on the runs water any day. The hunter is in us. That's right. Yeah, that's what you're doing. You're hunting carp. You don't sit there in a bivvy, setting a trap and sleeping there for days on end. You go after them. That's how I've always fished. Weather is up and down. It is, mate. That's right. It was terrible on Saturday, Matt. It just rained on me all day. Freezing cold. Even I had full winter suit on that I'd have on in December, January. It was still shivering. It was bloody freezing. Our fishing weekend, can't wait. Selby Peg 4 stuck in the corner. May have to go on a stone throwing method. Yeah, I think you might there, parts. I put my Selby fish on there. I know you spoke about Selby Free Lakes last week. On my proper channel, Mark Carp channel, I put on the community section the fish I had from Free Lakes back then, 20 years ago, and it was actually, the date of capture was the 14th of the 4th, 2001. So it was 20 years ago to this very day. I had a 25.5 pound mirror out of Free Lakes, and there's a picture of it on my community tab. 20 years ago to this very day, 14th of the 4th. Small pressured day tickets, done Saturday night up, woke up with the frost on the back. Yeah, it's that time of year, Matt, isn't it? We still quite haven't chased the frost away yet, but I don't think you're going to get many more of them, mate. Especially down where you live, because it's like summer already. Us northerners up here, mate, we're used to the cold. Yeah, I'd have a look, parts. There's a picture of me holding it, 25.5, and it was literally 20 years ago to this day. 14th. If I remember correctly, I think it was a Sunday, because I caught it on Sunday afternoon, after moving, Sunday morning. Someone went home and I dived in, went home from a swim that I'd fishing in, and I just dived in, and that was it. Happy days. Got myself a bite. That's right, mate. Yeah, I expect you to be in budgie smugglers by now. Like, you're at least, what, on average, I would say over the years, Matt, I would say 3 degrees warmer where you are than where I am. 3 degrees. So when it's like 0 here, you'll be +3, or when it's 21 here, you'll be like 24. You always get the best of it, mate, or the warmth. We always get the cold. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, they won't spawn here, mate, until at least the end of May. Probably some of them don't even spawn till June. All depends how warm it gets in the next few weeks. But it needs to be 70, doesn't it? 70 plus for a certain amount of days. Can't remember how many days it is, but that's far easier to achieve down where you are than where we are. But they will go eventually. Anyway, chaps, it's 5 to 10, and you know, the little battery light on me video camera is about to start flashing. I've watched it going down slowly but surely, looking at the screen, looking at myself, and it's going down and down and down and down and down, because the battery life in the video camera is only about 2 hours, and I've been going since 8 o'clock, so I've not got a lot of time left. So I'm going to wrap this one up for this week. It's getting pretty close to the time when I'm going to wrap the live streams up. I mentioned this at the beginning. If any of you watch it back, like I mentioned wrapping it up, because once we've got a certain amount of daylight, I can go fishing after work, and Wednesday would be my fishing day. I've got other stuff lined up for the other evenings, like stuff that I can't get out of. It's always nice to have those side hustles, isn't it? So I might have to knock it in the head to go fishing again. So there's not going to be many left. I'm thinking maybe keep doing them till the end of April, so another 1 or 2 maybe, and then once we get into May, it'll be fishing time. So I'm going to say good night to you all. Matt, Gizmo, James Martin, James, the other James, Pards, Rob, Gizmo. There's been plenty over here tonight. I'll have a quick scroll through. I Starlight was here before. Nice one, mate. Thanks for popping in. The 2 Jameses. Ewan, thanks, mate. Will, cheers, Will. Good luck when you next get out, mate. I'll probably speak to you next week if we can. Andy Clark. Nice one, Andy. Who else has been on? Yeah, find out about your new rods later, Andy. Danny's angling blog. Cheers, mate. Where are we? Dave Scobie's angling adventures. Cheers, Dave, for coming in earlier. Rob. Yeah. Louis fishing. Louis was the first on tonight. Cheers, mate. I'm nearly back at the beginning, I think. Yeah, I am, yeah. And Ian as well. Ian McHale. Cheers, Ian. You've been quiet for a while. Well, I'll catch up with you soon, mate. Right, cheers, guys. Thanks for the last couple of hours. Take care of yourselves, and I'll probably speak to you next week. Right. Nice, there's my thumb, and I'll end the stream now. Cheers guys, tight lines to you all.